Hello and welcome back to Rull's Kitchen. Christophe Rull here, and today we are going to make a beautiful French butter croissant. I am going to show you the way that I've been doing them for the last 20 years, and I learned that in a Michelin-starred restaurant. Are you ready? Put your apron on and let's get started. So we have our AP flour, bread flour, salt, sugar, vanilla extract, butter, water, milk, 4 eggs, and then our beautiful dry yeast. So let's just put the dry yeast and the water, mix, mix, mix. So I am going to place my water and my dry yeast inside the bowl, and then our milk. Then we are putting our flour and bread flour, sugar. Then we can actually add our eggs, our butter, and a little bit of vanilla extract. And then you want to mix it for 5 minutes in low speed, just to combine all the ingredients together. Alright, so the dough is starting to get unstick from the side of the bowl. I always want to scrape. Let's take the temperature of the dough. Right now we are at 26 degrees Celsius, which is this in Fahrenheit. Thank you, my favorite editor. So what's really important is to understand your dough. So if you realize that your dough is a little bit sticky, you're going to have to finish a little bit by hand. So you take your dough and then you tap it like this. Okay? And it's really therapeutic actually. If you just got into a fight with your wife or your husband, I will recommend to make a croissant dough. What's the window test? So really simple. Sometimes when you see some croissant on the top, they look like they're all cracked, right? The window test is the development of the gluten pretty much that is inside your dough, and that will prevent the croissant to crack as you rise. But it's pretty much holding the dough together. And I am going to show you, see? So you see when you take the dough and you stretch the dough like this, and you can see this thin layer of dough without any cracking. That's a good sign of a great dough. So what we want to do is to make a little ball. If you don't have this tool at home, you can put a little bit of spray into your hand so it doesn't stick. Voila, it's vegetable oil. So once my dough is shaped and placed into a bowl, we're going to proof it for about an hour or until it doubles its size. 1 hour in the oven. Let's check it out. Yes, 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 yes. So our dough doubled its size. This is exactly what we want to see. Let's go to the next step. A little bit of flour. Put your dough on the table. A little bit of flour on the top so it doesn't stick. What we're going to do is to roll it about half an inch. Oh yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. A little bit of flour. And then we're gonna take our dough. You want to make sure to have a beautiful rectangle. So you want to protect your dough with a wrap so it doesn't get any skin. And then we're going to place our dough in the freezer. The relationship between the croissant and I hasn't always been a love story. I remember when I first started to learn how to make the croissant, I couldn't figure out why I kept on screwing up my croissant. Temperature. I was spending too much time in between the lamination. The croissant is something alive, something that lives, there is yeast in it. It is extremely important to work fast, but also work with temperature control. Something really clicked into my head the day that one of my chefs told me, Christophe, temperature is the most important when you're making a croissant. You have to stay cold all the time to retain the yeast to proof. And once that clicked in my brain, I was able to make the damn good croissant. It was not good at the beginning. Huh? It was not good at the beginning.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I am going to show you a little trick to make a butter perfectly square. I am going to use a piece of parchment paper. Voila. So I am using 82% fat content butter. But first I am going to make a little square, like this. I am going to do this and this. You want to leave this a little bit at room temperature. It's better to form it. And you will understand pretty soon why. This is about half of the size of the dough that we just rolled out. So the goal is to make a perfect square over here, or rectangle. And now we have a beautiful square. So now that you have the butter ready, you can put it in the cooler for about 5 to 10 minutes. Before we continue on this beautiful croissant recipe, I'd like to take a moment to thank you, our sponsor of the day, you. And I'm so appreciative about you taking the time right now to watch this video. And if you can take a moment to like and subscribe, that will help the channel to grow. And now, back to the video. Our dough has been in the freezer for about 30 to 40 minutes. Now it's about time to enclose the butter. Normally you will be using a chiller, and the chiller it's a tool that professional pastry chefs use to roll their dough. But this is actually the way that you learn in the culinary school or in a pastry school. And today I'm going to show you the traditional way. So we want to put the butter enclosed in the center, a little bit of flour, and then start to roll the dough. So this is when it's serious, and I'm going to stop talking because I want to focus on those beautiful croissants. And remember, the temperature is really important. We're gonna do a simple tour, which is folding the dough this way, and then a bit of flour. And then we're gonna do a double. Oh, it's perfect. And then we do a double, fold, and voila. Oh, the dough is perfect. Let's see the layer. Oh yes, look at those beautiful layers. I have half of my dough. It's hard enough, not completely frozen, otherwise it will crack, but hard enough to maintain those layers. Now, I want to roll to the right thickness, which is probably going to be a little bit below 1/4 of an inch. So I'm cutting a triangle that is about 3 inches and a half by 8.5. So next you're going to cut triangles that is 3.5 inches times 8.5. So with half of the dough, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's about 14 croissants for the whole dough. Today I am going to show you 2 techniques. Right now there is a trend of the roll croissant. So we're going to do the traditional triangle croissant, and then I'm going to show you how to make those roll croissants as well. What I like to do is remove the flour, the excess of flour from your croissant is not necessary. And then I am going to stretch a little bit my croissant just to be a little bit longer. And then I am pressing the tip of my croissant, and then I am going to go slowly but surely. And the reason why we are measuring our croissant is because we want to have the perfect proportion. So now that I have my croissant, I am going to put them into my seal pan. So right now we are making a roll croissant. So it's the same dough as a croissant, but we're going to cut it differently and proof it into a ring. So I am going to use about 1 inch. And I'm just going to do 4 today, and I will keep the rest of my dough in the freezer. So the size of the rectangle will be 1 inch wide and 8 inch tall. Then I have my rings, that is 3-inch diameter and 1 3/4 thick, and you can find the description on the link below. Then I am going to use a canola oil pan spray to make sure my rings are not sticky. I am going to take my piece of rectangle and simply roll it the same way as you will roll a cinnamon roll. And by the way, if you're looking for a recipe for a beautiful cinnamon roll, is right here. Right in the middle. Voila. And now that we have both kinds of croissants, we are going to proof them for about an hour. My oven is set. It has an automatic bread proof program. If you don't have this at home, I will recommend to turn on your oven, then turn it off. You want to be at the temperature between 90 to 100 Fahrenheit at the maximum, with a little bit of water to create steam inside your oven. And you have a pan with hot water underneath to create some steam. See you later, babies. So now that my croissant, an hour after, maybe 2, are completely proofed, I am going to prepare my egg wash. What is an egg wash? Egg wash, really easy. It's an egg yolk with a little bit of water and a little bit of salt, and that's what's gonna make your croissant a little bit more shiny when you bake it. Egg white in one side, egg yolk on the other side, a little bit of water, a little bit of salt. So the salt will break the egg white and have the egg white actually a little bit more liquidy. So I am going to start with my croissant. And then we're gonna do the same for the rolled croissant. Voila. You have to be really creative when you have oven at home, because they are not baked evenly. The heat is coming from the top. So let's see how it goes. Oh yes! Let's remove the ring. The beauty of this is this layer. You see all of those layers of the croissant over here? That's when you see that the croissant is really, really well done. The lamination has been done properly. All right, let's cut it. Oh yes. Flaky, crunchy, buttery, everything that you expect from an authentic French butter croissant. Thank you so much for watching, it means a lot to me. And if you did not subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? Push the little button, hit the little bell so you can be notified each and every single recipe. Until then, au revoir and see you next time in Rull's Kitchen. Me, I'm gonna finish my croissant.